Okay, so I've already cleansed my space. I want to thank everybody that has actually been contributing to this part of the journey for me. I definitely want to invite the Holy Spirit, Archangel Michael, all of my archangels that you know by name, I know by name, my mother, Mother Isis, my ancestors. I want to invite all of the light beings that continue to walk with me, the beings I know and don't know, guides. I am so grateful to be covered by the blood of Jesus. And I know that there's controversy around what people believe, don't believe. You know, there's freedom of speech, there's all that. Like, it's okay. And you know what? I'm going to ramble a little bit because I tried to just record 3 times and then, like, got caught up in, like, you know, stuck on what I'm going to say or, you know, whatever. And again, I don't care. And the reason why I continue to step into the chat is because, like, there's so many different, like, causes and movements and, like, people taking a stand and stand for something, fall for nothing type thing, right? And I just feel as though, like, I wonder how, oh, first of all, okay, back to it, Soul Tribe family, hidden helpers, seen helpers, like, tribe, soul, like, preachers, prophets, like, earth angels, like, all of these beings, even of, you know, we have duality, dark and light, you know, it is what it is. And, like, I just have so much gratitude and love and, like, warmth in my heart and, like, fire in my spirit because, like, I really don't take any of the things, like, I know it probably sounds like, oh wow, she's been through a lot. Like, I know, like, on paper, like, basically the things that I already knew and then the things that, like, are really coming to my awareness, it's a lot. It is definitely a lot. It really is. And I don't really know how I got picked to endure. Like, I don't know how, like, I don't know. It's not like a haha hee hee. Like, this shit is painful. It is painful, and I wouldn't wish it. 1010 not recommend. I wouldn't wish it. But you know what? Here I am, and at this point, like I said many times, like, turning around and just like, no, I don't think I can do this anymore. That would be such a waste of everybody's resources, time, hatred, you know, envy, jealousy, efforts, like, all of that. It would just be a waste of, like, a little sprinkle of hope here. It would be a waste of faith. It would just be, it would not be it would just be a waste at this point. So not gonna do that. I'm gonna, you know, think of everybody, be considerate of all angles here. And back to the fact that, like, I have so much gratitude, I have so much respect for, like, the communities. I have respect and, like admiration and, like, inspiration, like, artists that I look up to, artists that I nobody even knows, like, people, like, just walking down, like, the street, like, you never know how much, like, just having, like, the feeling of, like, somebody, like, standing up for you, or somebody, like, just, like, acknowledging that you're going through a hard time. You look at them and then they're like, you're like, yeah, okay, cool. That's like a nudge. That's like an opposite of, like, effery that we're all like, what are we doing all these, like, protests for, and, like, all these, like, campaigns and all these TikTok trends and stuff, like, so you mean to tell me that you have a cause, right? You, whatever these, let's talk about these little, you know, Carmishas and Carmelos, we'll continue to call them, right? And you know, the schemers and the scammers and whatever the hell is going on, okay, the dysfunction, toxicity, whatever. It's no surprise, like, there's no secret. It's like, wow, I'm not, you know, paranoia is when it's like, hey, this is absolutely far-fetched. It's far-fetched. It's not, you know, you're tripping. Like, you need to come down off the Luciden, you need to come down off, you know, Sesame Street. That is like, wow, look at that, you know, dragon riding a seashell in the sky, like, you know, and they're coming down to attack on top of the alien spaceship, whatever the heck. Like, that's, you know, and no shade, because, like, at some point I had every diagnosis in the book, and I'm not even identifying with 90% of them anymore. But I do take care of myself to the best of my ability and try not to be a danger. I'm not a danger to myself or others. And so I feel that is like, it's an insult when it's like a very, very mentally ill person calling another mentally ill person mentally ill. And it's like, where'd you get your degree? I don't know. But anyways, if you can follow me, you can follow me. Take it where it resonates. It doesn't. But I would just, and it's, you know, I'm going to jump all over the place probably, but whatever. um, this is me and this is what it is. And I was catapulted into a space of not having to, but getting to a space where, like, you know, putting things in perspective, because God sat me down, sat me down, and all of these things started being placed into puzzle pieces started coming together. And I think it's a beautiful thing, because no one had to go out of their way. I didn't have to go out of my way. I still, I just am grateful to know, at least if no one in the flesh, has, throughout all of this all of it, whatever, it's just a culmination of moments of hope, and then moments of just apparently everyone has seen more sides of the humiliation and the betrayal and the gossip. Those things are painful. In fact, I wouldn't wish it on anybody, but and I don't need to, but the things that are actually coming towards individuals, bullies get bullied, you might bully someone, and then guess what, there's always a bigger bully, and guess what, sometimes that bigger bully is the biggest bully of all, so and you kind of get to the point where you beat up someone so much, you strip them of everything. I mean, it's malicious, it's vicious, it's actually some reptilian lizard brain stuff, and I can pinpoint now, it's some envy, jealousy, and it's actually really unattractive. I don't care how pretty you are. Now I know, I never had a reason to be insecure about anybody, even at my worst looking stage, even right now, even with missing teeth, even with being, violated in my slave, even with, everything I ever had of value, which is snatched before I got it or snatched when I had it. I mean, everything you could think of. It actually taught me how to have zero attachments. It actually it forged me into a space where I have literally given up hope so much, and literally lost, I would like to see all of the individuals inflicting wounds onto people like myself, inflicting, right? And then to have them spend a day in the anguish, not even just the physical anguish, take a day in the mental, spiritual, emotional, right? And then times that by a trillion, publicize it, right? Have everyone kind of just participate in it silently, watch you go through it, and then think that it's, you might little Johnny or little Trisha, that nobody cared, whatever, but eventually, even when you go to the casino, eventually your luck's gonna run out, and that's just what it is. And it's especially the thing is, I am really let me go back. I'm absolutely grateful for the beautiful, strong, powerful men, women, children. I am amazed. We all have wounds, we all have stuff, we're not perfect, we might have a little of this, we might do a little of that, we're not perfect. We have, literally nobody is sitting here, I know I'm not sitting here acting like I'm prima donna, I'm better, this and this and that. I don't real recognizes real, it's not about that. So if you're out of that bracket, right, you're proving yourself to be this and this and that, you're obviously snatching your juice from somebody else, you're manipulating to get a man, you're manipulating to get clout, you're manipulating to get a car. Bro, we're not, listen, if you're that intelligent and you're that in tune, you would understand that time has passed. That time has passed, and we're not in high school anymore. And so here's the thing, you can we can you collaborate, right? You collaborate, you one hand, bring something to the table, right? If I would like to see, I better not see anybody that's participated in treating myself or others like myself at any sort of pep rally against some sort of cause. I better not see anybody talking about Black Lives Matter, talking about the system, because at the end of the day, it's the principle. It is how your heart posture is. It is not about you want to pump this and talk about I'm this and I'm that, and I stand for this. Well, what at the end of the day, how are you treating the person that you're walking down the street with. How are you, not to say we're perfect, but like you're literally making it your life's mission to ruin someone else's life. It's not like you're getting a lick back on that person or like they did you foul. No, you are actually digging into like your so anything that, you know, at this point, by the grace of God, this vessel is still here, right? And there is a purpose, because I stopped wanting to be here a long time ago. You know why? Because people treat you like shit. You know why? Because you suspect all your life that like you don't really belong. In fact, you don't, even when you like think you're safe, you're not, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, financially. I'm not upset, and I don't feel sorry for, I don't feel empathy, I don't feel sorry, I don't feel I don't even feel any more like surprised or disappointed. I'm actually so grateful, like I said, for clarity. And I'm grateful to know like okay, I don't group everybody all into one. I don't group one race into one. I don't group one class into one. I don't group one, you know, shape, size, you know, creed, orientation, politic. You know, that's a whole other thing, because you know what, some shit just ain't right. It just ain't right, and we need to pray and we're gonna figure that out. We can come to an understanding. But this being right here, whatever experiment has been going on, or me, I'm not like, I definitely feel like a lot of it is definitely unwarranted. And we know that. We all know that at this point. So there's like a very higher population of people that are like, oh, this is disgusting. We're not standing for this. This was weak. This was lame, right? I didn't even have to figure it out. Like, I'm the last one to figure out, dang, I'm like healing, going to therapy, healing on these few aspects of what my life is. And God and all of the divine beings said, honey, sit down for this for a couple months and let us take care of these things, and let's put some things together in your mind. Remember you felt that, remember you felt that, remember you cut that person off, remember this is yeah, this is why. Let me sit you down. We love you. We're the only ones that love you. Actually, we're the only ones that love you. And so we need you here. Whatever, you know, like you've tried all the other ways to not, can we please, I'm like, okay, well, only way is forward. Please let this mean something, you know, let it mean something. All of the things that I really always like thought were like grasped to, that like really like, and we're all guilty of that, you know, like we all like, you know, want love, we want friendship, we want loyalty, we want validation, we want income, you know, so whether, even if it's just to have nice things, but also to like feel a certain status. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with any of the human things that, you know, we're naturally attuned to. It's really not that. And I personally don't like feeling like speaking on these things, because I'm not an expert, and I don't like ever feeling like you know, I'm trying to be a know-it-all, or, you know, think I'm better, and I don't. So I really don't receive that. Anybody who sits there and says somebody thinks they're better, or, you know, this and that, they're already coming from an insecure state. Like, I feel like, you know, if you're in the heart posture of, dang, like I can learn something from them, like, oh, that's cool, like I can collaborate, or like, you know, like lift each other up, or like, you know, there's enough spots, seats at the table, there's like, you have this strength, I have this strength, whatever, you know, like, let's just not hate on each other, ladies, men. Let's not like plot on each other, and how to like, let's figure out how we can like teamwork it up. Like, we are in some really crucial times. I can't believe that people actually sit there and have like the audacity to sit around in circles and like plot on somebody's like everything that like doesn't belong to them. Like, so yeah. And the thing is, like, I hold so much in that like all I can do sometimes is cry out. All I can do is cry and talk to higher power. I can only talk to Jesus. I can only open up the door, which leads the door to open up and tap into my roots, tap into aspects of my being, of my life that I didn't even know. And I'm grateful for that, because like I've been, you know, I may not know in person, like, you know, necessarily, or even have like want to have people in person necessarily around me, but it's happening. Being organically aligned with people that are aligned with vibes that I want to be around, the vibes that reflect, you know, where I'm at, where I can be useful, and where I can be learn and like grow and heal. Like, life is very, very short. It's short, but it also can be meaningful. Like, I'm not going to spend the rest of my days, even if it's today, if it's tomorrow, the next day, 7 years from now, like, I'm not counting, but I'm also not going to sit here and allow anybody else to dictate what those days look like. Nobody, not one person. I get my direction from God, and I don't really need to and I feel like anybody else that's, even if you're not even religious, you don't have to be religious, you don't have to be anything, but there's like, even if you don't believe anything, you have integrity, right? There's a moral, there's like, you know, principle, there's like, hey, let me just like not harm anybody today that like doesn't deserve it, you know? Like, how dare somebody sit there and walk around like they have their head held high and then talk about somebody else, you know, it thinks that they're too good or this and that. Like, it actually, you're mentally ill. You're the one that's mentally ill. It makes no sense. So, yeah, I'm going to ramble because here's the thing. I have personally seen that people will do anything to make themselves feel better, you know, and I feel like if you have to do all that, right, it's not genuine, it's not organic, you know what I mean? I've never sat around and like plotted on my friends. I've never sat around any ounce of love or like concern or anything I've ever done for anybody, even at my worst days, even at my most desperate days. I did my best to do it with a place of love and a place of, you know, sincerity, a place of generosity, a place of just like, you know, whatever. Harm none. Like, that's in one of the laws, right? Harm none, do harm to none, whatever. Whatever. So, thing is that I really don't feel as though to continue to harp on the which and what and who's what. Apparently, I can't avoid not being myself. I can't avoid not being, you know, stared at when I'm walking down the street, or possibly being followed, or you know, whatever, like, you know, creeping up and pocket watching, or whatever it might be. I don't even know. I've gotten so to the point where like I'm just living my life and doing the best I can. Of course, I absolutely want nothing to do with anybody from my past. I mean, absolutely nothing. And I return every single intention that they ever had for me back to its original sender in the name of Jesus Christ. It is all exposed for all to see. Every single intention, thought, plan, it's all exposed. I didn't have to do anything about it. I didn't. That's how you guys need to understand. Like, this is spiritual, physical. You're awakening not just this realm, you're awakening everyone else. Like, so you can't get upset when you guys, when it's been triggered by actions that were unnecessary. It was triggered by actions out of ego, out of greed, out of like shallow jealousy crap. Like, it's no one's fault actually that these cards are falling this way. Nobody went out of their way, you know? So I am actually very grateful that the individuals that, you know, were once I was blindly, you know, following, or, you know, really believed the best of at that time. It's real. I'm not angry. I'm really not. I'm not angry. I'm not resentful. None of the things or the ways I was treated, talked about, smeared, you know, gossiped about, I mean, slandered, like, none of that is okay. And it doesn't feel good. It's hard to look in the mirror sometimes, even before, like, knowing that how, like, I was actually not bad looking or whatever, right? And I keep, you know, maybe, you know, I don't feel like ugly, and I definitely don't feel like, you know, super like down on myself at this point, but like I also have gotten to the point where maybe I'm too okay with just my own opinion that it's hard to open up to, and it might take some time, but like the more that I even realize like what was done to me without even my permission, without even knowing, I get very hurt, and then I upset, and then my ancestors and the angels and Jesus Christ himself step in without my permission, and things start happening. you know, and then it starts happening collectively because of the time frame that we're in, where things like that are not okay. It's just not okay. Yeah, cool, maybe it was okay last year, maybe it was okay the year before, maybe it was okay 10 years ago, 20 years ago. Cool. Perfect world, you know, heaven on earth? Probably not. Balancing scales, evening things out? Absolutely. Who do you think you are? High school friends? Who do you think you are? People from the groups? Who do you think you are? People at the fellowship? Who do you think you are to like actually go out of your way to basically, in every way, shape, or form, it's violation. So I feel like when people, you know, people of honor and respect and principle, like they go out, they do something that they got to do, whatever, for whatever reason, they already take into consideration what the outcome can be, right? And stand on it. You know, I'm standing on it. I made the decision. I stand on it, whatever the case may be. Standing 10 toes, and I might go get this way, you know, like might turn in my favor, but it also might not. I'm willing to accept that too. It seems as though in these scenarios, everybody wants to be like, oh, so, you know, bold and like, you know, gather together and like organize and whatever, right? But then when it comes down to accountability, ownership, humility, like nobody has that. But everybody's so bold to actually sit there and be like, oh, let's just tear someone down in the secret and in the back end and just, you know, bring them over to the group and then act like nobody's talking and sending terrible, ugly photos around about them, and then act like we have no idea. And then they're like, hey, I feel like something's off. I feel like I don't feel right. No, you're good, girl. Nothing's happening to you. No, nobody's betraying you. Why would you even think that? You're paranoid. No, paranoia is not, that you can't say that to somebody when everything that they're feeling is actually intuition and it's actually based in reality. You can't say that. So I would really like to understand also at this point, right? Is the Soul Tribe, are we the only ones on the same page? And like, and whatever like entities have been, you know, conjured up or whatever, they're already like returned to sender indefinitely, irrevocably, in the name of Jesus. All of the ancestors combined of the Soul Tribe collectively, like you can definitely, like, you want to go this way, cool, fall back, great. You obviously, there's a group of specific relentless Karens, Carmishas, Carmelos, whatever, right? It's like listen, it's okay, these little exes and attached to relationships that I'm no longer in and never want to be in, and actually, like, whatever the delusions are going, like, let me just say, whatever delusions are going on, right, about these little secret competitions that women want to have with me, or, you know, have conversations like sleeping with my exes or whatever, I'm not mad. Please, thank you, take them. And anybody that I have to try to manipulate or orchestrate to keep or get, I don't want, okay? So you got it. I promise you. You don't have to do a candle magic on me. You don't have to do a smear campaign. You don't have to do a group chat. You don't have to try to humiliate me for some man that may not even, if he can be swayed to not want me in all of that ways, I don't need him. And also, you've broken me to the point to where I am so okay with myself. If I do need to take care of myself, it's not my top priority, but I'm going to handle it, right? And we all know, right, how good I can handle things, right? But I can do it better by myself. I'd rather do that than go through all this drama, all these years, all this nonsense, right? So whatever conversations or like manipulations are being had to like keep me from somebody that like obviously is not like, you know, if it's meant, it's meant. If it's not, it's not. Like, the fact that you got to go through hell and high water and freaking still waters and Florida water and all types of stuff to like get what you need, that kind of says that maybe you didn't earn it, or maybe it wasn't meant for you to have. And if it's at the expense of someone else, how do you think you're going to maintain it? How do you think that there's not going to be blood on your hands for it? How do you think that maybe the other way that you could have gone about it, especially with somebody like myself, I'll just speak for myself, that's very like genuine, generous, fair, like you picked the very like most, like, I mean, I'm not like trying to act like, you know, I'm not, you know, perfect. None of us are, but I would say here this specific like personality, like you're attacking people that like literally are the most loyal, like the most like honest, the most like loyal to the fact that like we'll go to war with you. You shouldn't go to war against us, but we'll go to war with you. That's the thing. And like, so principle is definitely a thing, because karma, the intention, it's not about what magic you do, it's not about what prayer you pray, it's literally intention behind it. The power of the tongue, right? That's real. And when you start tripping up like frequencies and stuff and playing with things that you don't know, you waking up stuff that people don't even know. That's not okay. I mean, it is okay, like overall, but at the same time, like you're literally running around here, kicking babies down the street at the playground and acting like you're the victim. No, you're not. You're not. So again, I love my Soul Tribe family. We are collectively, whatever path, creek, wherever you're coming from, the fact that individuals are actually like in this time frame, standing up for, you know, inner child, like standing up for just the fact that like right is right, wrong is wrong, like too much is too much, you know, like what are all these like movements and protests for if like in your own family, your own community, you're literally abusing and disrespecting and degrading and humiliating, like you're literally doing that to your own kind, you're literally doing it to your women and children, like you're literally doing whatever you like want to hypocritically stand in front of the pew or stand in front of the podium or stand in front of like you're literally abusing that. So that's not okay. And so therefore, for what? There's nothing left. So I would just encourage to like take the L, okay? Nobody's asking for any I'm not collecting. Again, we're not collecting collectively, right? Yeah, there's a lot of emotion, of course. Am I mad? No. Am I bitter? No. I don't regret not one aspect of what I've endured, but it definitely doesn't feel good. So when I have to go into that space, I allow myself to feel it, process it, right? Lean on my higher powers, right? Lean on that. Allow that comfort, that protection, that healing to cover me, because it is actually the only way to get through the next hour, the next day, moving forward. Like that's how it's gonna work, you know? Because giving up is not a thing. And also I don't desire to like want to be in a position, I'm not gonna allow myself to be in a position to open myself up to those kind of like spaces, because that's where the goal is. So I'm very aware. I'm very, you know, I don't need to call out anything, because you sit back and observe, people will start exposing themselves. And that is exactly what happened. That is exactly what is happening, right? You're no different. Like you think like just because you're like, you got slick for this amount of time, this amount of time, whatever. Like the president, like we're all human beings, you know? So yeah, I'm not for it anymore. I'm not for it. So if it's okay, to be so as bold to, do the most in that way, and you know, go out of your way to like humble someone who's actually like more humble than you, because who goes around and saying you need to humble somebody? How humble is that? You know, how sophisticated is it to go dancing or go, you know, get dressed up or have a movie night with your bestie, and then you know they're going through something with their boyfriend, or you know they're listen to them, you know, try to sort some things out, and then actually you're the other issue on the other end. That's the issue. In fact, you were never friends at all. In fact, the entire time, like nobody was actually your friend, nobody was actually your family, nobody was actually, and that's okay, right? Because by when God removes and closes those doors, like you have to go through that, going through the process, you know, perspective, and then other relationships are able to form. Relationship with myself first and with God. That is the most important thing, honestly. And I'm grateful. I'm actually grateful for everything that I know I endured and everything I don't know, and who I am and who I'm not. I don't even know the real details of all of my life, and I honestly, I'm not trying to force anything either anymore. The blessing of all of this is that you beat someone so much, physically, mentally, spiritually, financially, socially, like to just be dragged. Like I'm not, it's actually disgusting. So anything that happens individually or as a collective to the energies that treat people like this, and like I said, I don't wish things on people, but like you don't have to wish things on people for karma to set itself right, for God to come in and step in the chat. Like you don't have to, if you think about it. And I would never, because that would make me just as pathetic as these Karens, these Carmelos. Like it is what it is. And there's no like avoiding it. There's no hiding about it. It's all exposed. And I didn't have to expose it. The other people who have endured didn't have to expose it. This is actually the age of Aquarius. It is actually happening, whether you like it or not. If you're not the freaking leaders of the world, they're going through stuff too. Okay, we're all human beings. Who do you think you are? Okay. So when I talk to you on the phone, or you call and check on me, you pop up at down the street, like I know, I'm very clear. I just don't engage. Because I don't need to. I don't have time. I'm very clear. I might seem ditzy. I might seem slow, or I'm, mentally ill, whatever you want to say, right? I've gone through a severe amount of trauma. I've gone through enough to where I don't think not even one person of whatever the hell has been going on could endure. Not, I don't think that, like, I don't think that you would. I don't think that you could, actually. So if we're gonna, like, do a swinging contest, I'm pretty sure, as we've already found out, I'm going to outrank you. And I don't say that in arrogance, because in the fact, if I was ever going to walk around and act like, not dim myself, not, be humble, actually, and just try to, like, navigate and even operate out of insecurity, there was never any reason for me to be insecure. There was never any reason for me to treat myself the way that I was being treated, and I'm never going to do that again. I mean that. Not for anybody, not even for family. Like people make their own choices and how they choose to show up in people's lives. This is where we're at. I heard in a song, I'll cut my, granny off if she don't see it like I see it, right? I mean, that's how it is. So yeah, I'm just rambling at this point, but my voice is cleared. I return every single intention, every single ill intention from these women that are competing with me or have been competing with me. All of their intentions, all of their black magic is now void. All of their powers have been stripped in the name of Jesus. Every single intention that they have, every single thing that they've said, their tongues are bleeding, and that is set in stone, covered by the blood of Jesus, with the vengeance of all of the ancestors that are tired of it and fed up, that have been awakened, and all the collective, all together. I'm grateful for us. I'm grateful for, I'm grateful for protection. I'm grateful for healing, hidden helpers, unseen helpers, higher up, lower places, whatever. I wouldn't say high or low because it's all the same, but like just real human beings, like artists I look up to, artists that, like help me get through, the songs that get me through, nature itself, just always being provided for. The fact that I know what my worth is now. I know my power now. It's continuing to grow every day. I'm not hiding from anybody, and I'm not going to, why would I? And in fact, I'm not the one that should be, first of all. And second of all, I have not been out of pocket. And I feel like the audacity to even walk around like I walk down the street and like treat me, or think that it's going to be okay to like provoke or intimidate, like that's not okay, because, I might be one person, but like I'm not ever alone. So like that's the thing. Like these specific, I'm gonna say maybe I do have a little bit of resentment towards these specific Jezebels and these specific Carmelos, but I'm grateful that and I don't have to deal with you anymore. I'm grateful because now collectively that is a whole portion of removed out of my energy field, not welcome in my energy field, not welcome in my life, not welcome in, my moving forward. Anything that is trying to prevent itself, from my union, whatever union I might be having from someone that is, I know in the 5D that is meant to happen. I cancel all those cords. All those cords are severed, cut, torn, dismantled. The intentions in which to bind them are now severed and returned back to each and every sender. All of the entities that are continuing to grasp and relentlessly come against me, come against my divine counterpart, come against my collective, come against the inevitable like repercussions that are that were intentionally chosen by the actions. Like, all of those entities are now commanded back in the name of Jesus to inhabit every single Jezebel, every single Carmelo, every single ex-boyfriend, their girlfriends, every single one. Like, we're done. I rebuke in the name of Jesus. I rebuke in the name of Jesus. All of my ancestors are now collectively here. And I don't mean as a whole. I'm not trying to tackle no whole anything. I'm talking about the specific ones, okay? So the world doesn't need to worry if that's what the case is, because apparently I'm an alien. I don't know. I don't care. But I'm not talking about this whole, right? So we don't got to worry about that. I'm not in that chat. I'm in the specific chat of the betrayal, of the exact disrespect, of the humiliation, of the sleeping with people, and I was sleeping with the enemy. Like, the realization that I have been made to become aware of. Okay, everyone can throw me in a chat. Everyone can throw me on a site. Everybody can throw me on, some sort of AI, whatever. Like, it's all coming, right? So I don't get to speak on how I've been affected, right? Is that what it is? Because if I've been called out by name, right? I've been called out by physical body. I've been called out with my credit. I've been called out with, the way that I look, so should I go down the list? Should we all line up? How about that? Right? No, I'm not going to do that. I don't have to. And this is why I'm so grateful, right? Because I'm not going to do that. I never have to do that. I never had to do that. I was the last one to know, but guess what? God sat me down because he's real, right? He's real. Spirit world is real. The spiritual realm is active. If you know, you know. If you don't know, you probably should get to know. And if you are playing around in it and you don't know, that's not a good idea. And that's another reason why you're going to quickly find out. But that's a whole other thing. It is an intention. It's not even about like the belief or the path. It's all comes down to intention. It comes down to harm none. It comes down to like principle. Like, sometimes you really need to go into that dark side, and sometimes you really just need to not and let karma handle itself. Okay, so this we're talking about the specific. There's a specific relentless like energies and audacious, like, just disrespectful, shallow, egotistical, sneaky conniving, scamming, evil, hypocritical, all of that, slanderous, whatever, I got words, we have chats, we have all those things too, but no, just be grateful that that's not happening. And don't worry, it's not going to, no need to, remember. But all of the actions that were intentionally taken to defile and degrade, and I'm just speaking for myself, but this is a representative of people who have also endured. I would not like to see any single person that knows that they've caused myself harm intentionally, or anybody in my situation, anybody that's actually like a vulnerable human being. So on one hand, if it's like, okay, you're too good for your britches and you think you're better, and you're not actually operating in that manner, so now you're just going to be a bully. Now you're going to operate and take your insecurities and your fears and your shame, rather than communicating or trying to build together. Now you're going to take that. You're just as bad as you're just as bad as KKK. You're just as bad as ABC, whatever. Like, so hypocrisy and double standards. It's never like, heaven on earth. I think it's really unrealistic or whatever, but I just know, in so many words, yeah, I'm long-winded. Yeah, I have, I don't care anymore. I'm being encouraged to speak. I'm speaking. I'm not going to sit there and continue to like, take it. But I'm also very aware, and I need it to be known, like, I'm not crazy. I'm not dumb. I'm not mentally slow. Listen, I'm a lot of things. I definitely have cognitive issues. I have a problem speaking. That's why I write. I'm very awkward socially. Like, you know what? I can make a whole list. In fact, I've made lists. Guess what? They probably got spread around the group chat and, on the Facebook post or whatever. Doesn't matter. They know they are. I really hope that they can take a good look in the mirror, right? And really, really try to embrace all of the flaws that they really feel inside, and then and imagine them being exposed and highlighted, and imagine that that could happen, may happen. Let's say it would happen. Let's say it is happening, and how that would feel involuntarily, right? Without your permission. Just imagine those that actual experience happening, right? How that would hurt. How would you feel? Like at the end of the day, at the end of the route, it's like maybe just hurt, wounded children. You know, we all have trauma, we have insecurities, we have unhealed wounds. So I like to go there and think that maybe that's it, rather than going through a space of like allowing myself to feel violated and stuff, because you know it is what it is. We already know what's up. I just know that I deserve more. I deserve friendship. I desire and deserve to get to a place, you know, that I'm working towards, to where I can actually have, moving forward, build real organic relationships that are safe, that are trustworthy, like, and that are reciprocal, that you know, and I want that for everybody that has gone through some major losses and things like that's. We all actually deserve that. If anybody's gone through, you know, it's partaking in things that they're not proud of too. Like, it's okay. It's more about like recognizing it, not being embarrassed or ashamed to say like, dang, I really messed up. I really hurt that person. You know, I have a lot of respect for that. You know, I have a lot of love and respect for that. And you can sincerely be like, damn, like that really hurt someone. And I really was in my ego or whatever. But to actually sit there and continue to act like, you know, you're delusional, or you don't know, or you didn't do anything, or like you literally are owed like some sort of grace, or you're literally entitled to like keep going, and like not, like, that's narcissism at its finest. That's also like a surefire way to not, you know, every single person that I learn from, that I'm tuned into, I want to say I love you. Every single person. I try to comment like as much as I can, genuinely, because I love being able to engage and like learn and like connect. Like it really is just a lifesaver. It's a blessing. Anybody that I know for sure, like that I physically, is very, you know, few, like that I really do feel safe with. I still to this day, like I don't really even, like this is the most expression I do, and I still don't even go as deeply as I just lean on God for. I just deal with God, and I deal with the angels, and I just try to do it that way, because even if I try to like even think about fixing my lips, right, or trying to even think about opening up, there's no point. Like I've got this throat chakra blocked, but I think it's for the best way possible. However, my creativity is coming back. I do have a zest for life again. I do feel recentered and balanced. I do feel, you know, definitely more aligned, and definitely more hopeful. Definitely grateful. I pray for everybody, you know, that's going through something, because we all are. I definitely don't pray bad for people, but I definitely don't pray good for everybody either. I'm just be honest. I also definitely include every interaction that makes me feel seen and heard, and vice versa, where I feel like maybe I'm contributing something positive to somebody else. Like I value that. I cherish that so deeply, and that makes everything worth it. Like it makes all of the tears worth it. It makes all of the whatever. I'll bear it if my kid can like learn, even if she doesn't want to talk to me, or you know, I don't ever like have certain relationships that I thought I would have, that would be like ideal. That's okay, because all of this really propelled me into a space where I don't feel jaded. Like I can't connect with people. In fact, I've been actually having really good conversations and connecting and like feeling present, and it's simultaneously knowing I'm going through a lot of pain and processing and heartache, but at the same time, like it doesn't have to stunt me. It doesn't have to stunt my growth. It doesn't have to stunt me like actually not even like being so closed off and paranoid and like tripping out. Like, no, I'm walking around just fine, and I'm very aware, and I know how to keep myself strapped up, you know. So it's like I'm not, and I prayed up, and you know, like in that sense, and I'm not out causing harm because I'm going through some stuff, and I'm not trying to, you know, figure out how to make things happen for myself. I'm just trying to go with the flow, you know. So, and then flow with others that are like literally doing the same, you know. It's just that simple, you know. Everybody's gone through something. Everybody needs a dollar bill. Everybody needs, you know, some loving. Everybody, you know, has physical needs, sensual, you know, sexual needs, emotional needs, like financial needs. Okay, that doesn't mean you go out your way and like do the most to like violate, you know, and make that happen for yourself. Too much is just too much, you know. So that's cool. Do too much over there. No love lost. I honestly like don't care. Like, it's all being handled and taken care of, and there's no avoiding it. All of it is returned to sender. All of it is exposed. All of it is absolutely irrevocably, you know, unavoidable. Like, especially for specific like energies that just won't understand that like narcissism is not cool. It's not okay, you know. And so, and then to sit around and act like dumbfounded, like, you know, don't know what's going on, and you know, that is actual, like, that's mental illness at its finest, you know. And no shade, you know, at all. But as much as I've been thrown into a facility or like, you know, urged to like every time something's wrong, did I take my meds? Like, I think we need to start getting some wellness checks going on. But either way, I don't know. I'm just grateful to actually just have a little bit of relief and clarity more than anything. Again, when it comes to like blocking my finances, blocking my relationships, blocking my connections, blocking, you know, my peace of mind, my safety, like that's absolutely gonna stop. It's absolutely unacceptable at this point, now, forever and ever, in the name of Jesus, amen. It is exposed. It is being it is looked like, it is, God sees everything, and he's very, very wide awake. Okay, nothing, no good run. Like, you get a good run for a while, eventually, like, you know, that's what it is. You know, you don't just keep screwing people, and then walk around like with your, you know, with your butt cheeks cleansed, like, you know, you got it all like that. No, I mean, think about it. Like, think about the most, you know, prestige individuals that, you know, like, they get their day too, you know. And so, you know who you are, okay? You know that it was not okay to treat me the way that you did. You know that it's not okay, and, you know, whatever collective lane of someone else in my situation didn't deserve to be treated that way. The audacity to think that it's not something, you know, that's the audacity to think that it's funny, or that, you know, something the entitlement, right? And I feel in my energy field just a couple, and mostly women right now, and then most the women of the men's that I don't want to be with, that I actually never want to talk to again. Okay, I can never trust any of the friends that I stopped talking to. It's not that, like, I'm not bitter. I don't have any revenge or anything. I cannot allow myself to take the risk of allowing anybody back in my life that has already proven to me, even if they never directly like right, stepped on my toe or whatever. You were there and you saw it and you watched it happening year after year. So it's okay, but I would not re-enter any sort of like relationships in that aspect. And if as I'm, you know, moving forward into new relationships and friendships and collaborations, like I've been so forged into discernment, and like when I'm willing to take the risk, or when I'm willing to speak or not speak, or like open up. Even with this, like, I've been very vulnerable, but have I actually pinpointed any single thing? No, I haven't. Have I pinpointed any specific? No. And so maybe I'm too long-winded, but at the same time, I'm not plastering and making other, you know, so the double standard thing, there is no like lick back. There is no like sense of like entitlement to like try to continue to come for me. It's just not for me or anyone else that like in general, like collectively, like I'm praying for us. We're all sticking together. Like it's not just a movement. It's like listen, Carmishas and Carmelos and Jezebels, like it's not okay. Okay. It's not okay. Keep whatever it is you think you got, whatever you got. Cool. I'm not holding any attachments. Okay. Making things right. Moving on. Okay. That's it. It's just moving on. So, yeah, no. If I'm meant to have anything, I will have it. And God has what He ordains, what is meant to happen, is going to happen, regardless of what some candles say or what group chats say. Like, there's nothing that's going to stop that. And that's good or bad. And honestly, I've honestly gotten to the point in life where I'm so just, like, as long as we're doing our best at every moment with the right intentions, we're doing our best to just not be a jerk, to just not be a shallow, just to not be, a scammy scam, just to not be, be more of an asset, lean towards more of the asset, or just less of a liability or a harm to others, like, for no reason. Even people that have absolutely nothing are living by kindness and morals, like, whether you're home free or even if you're like the most pristine, bougiest lifestyle, there's still a few that have, empathy and kindness, So, yeah, I would just suggest collectively, like, not just in my specific situation, but like collectively, like, understand, all of those, all of those powers are definitely stripped. The ancestors are definitely awake. If you want to sit there and protest one cause, you need to recognize, like, you better where's your heart for the other cause? Because, like, at the end of the day, it's like humility, it's integrity, it's like honesty, it's like, loyalty, because like some of us actually don't have that, and I don't know what character defects they've acknowledged, but just, you're gonna start, pointing out flaws and violating others. Look at the mirror, okay, and then imagine whatever you're imagining for someone else, and in that mirror being done to you, or your younger self, and how that would be okay and how it's not okay, and how you wouldn't like that. Anyway, that's my other rant. Whatever. I love you guys. I love you, Soul Tribe. I'm grateful for every single person that's crossing my path, good or bad. I'm just grateful, and I'm going to continue to push forward. I hope everybody does too. Big love, gratitude, honor, respect. I pray for protection, provision, empowerment, healing, inspiration, connection, alignment, unalignment, just being okay with ourselves. Like, life is too short, and even if it is short, let's just like make it mean something, and have the monotony not have to be monotony, and like, cry the tears, feel the feels, I love you guys. Bye.